Okay, so apparently I can only make so many videos that are a certain length in Screencast device. So sorry. I hope this is helpful. So as you can kind of see, you saw me kind of go in and make a few edits, that type of thing. But where I'm headed with this piece is, so looking back, life was bright and shiny that particular day until it wasn't. And so what I'm doing right here is I'm actually inserting some foreshadowing because I'm kind of like building my reader up to that moment in time where I drive down the road and I'm just as carefree as I can possibly be, and I see the tree. And in that instant, my childhood died that day, along with that tree. So, okay, so now you can kind of see how a memory, you can kind of turn it into a really cool story. And as you kind of reflect on it, you kind of do this process where you kind of level up and it kind of like has more meaning for you. Because when it first happened, I didn't really think about it that much, you know? When this memory first happened, I just remember it like being like sad, like it was awful that that tree was gone. And as I kind of grew, I guess as a writer later on, that was a memory that kind of just still stuck with me. And I kind of reflected on it and I realized that there was some meaning to it. So that's kind of what this exercise is. As we kind of scroll down here, why do you think you remember this so well? Try connecting one of our emotions to this memory. I think it really was a huge milestone in my life. I think that was when I realized I was kind of growing up a little bit, you know? Um, but it would be very beneficial for me to like respond to this in writing because as you guys know, writing is the tool that unlocks the thinking of the brain. So now it says part C, now try and express your memory and emotion in some way. The goal is to get it out of your head. Here are some ideas for what you could do. Write your memory in less than a page. The emotions come out in your words. As you can see, I kind of did that up here, all right, with my piece that I started with. And I don't have that much written down, right? But notice how it's going in chronological order, okay? Because that's how plot goes. So in narrative writing, you tell that part of the story in logical or chronological order. So I'd like for you guys to go back in um, and work on these memories. Okay, I'd like for you to maybe take a memory and try to take the reader to that scene or that situation and try to write your way out of it a little bit. I'd like for you to unsubmit these and resubmit them to me and return them in. um I hope these videos help. Let me know. Okay, don't make fun of me just because you're mean, but let me know if like letting you guys sort of see the writing process and see like my thinking, if that kind of helps you. Now I want to talk just briefly about the writing process. So what would happen if I would have finished this piece? I would have went, so there's pre-writing or brainstorming, there's drafting, there's revising, there's this editing part, and then there's the publishing part. So there's really 5 stages of the writing process. And so the drafting part is where you are not letting the critical, like editor self of you, really get too picky about different things. Like you can see I didn't correct my spelling. I went back and kind of like deleted a few things, but wasn't overly dramatic with it. And I didn't delete the whole thing and throw it away like you guys sometimes do. You can kind of mess around with that stuff when you get to the revision stage. Revision stage is just that. You kind of go back in and rethink some of your paragraphs and like what you wanted to say. Editing is different than revision. Editing in the writing process is where you maybe kind of get some of the resources out and check your spelling, maybe check and make sure that you use the ellipsis right and commas and that type of thing. It's a little bit more mechanical stuff. And then the last stage, of course, is publishing, which is, is it an assignment for a teacher? Are you going to put it on a blog somewhere or a podcast? Are you going to read it aloud in a podcast? Just all kinds of different things like that. And we're going to talk more about that. But it's really important that you guys acknowledge the writing process, because if you don't, if you skip that pre-writing, that brainstorming part, you're going to struggle a little bit with every piece that you work on. All right. So let me know. I hope these videos help you. And I'd like for you to resubmit these pieces. Okay.